Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, the 14th of July, 2015. Hope you're having a good trading week. We had a decent session. A lot of it was just done on some trades early in both stocks and futures on Monday, but the rest of the day was kind of slow, and I'll show you that in a minute. It was also one of these days where we gapped up again and didn't do much after. Volume was light at only 1.5 billion shares on the NASDAQ, so that's not as much as we usually want to see, and it's been, as everybody knows, light lately. So we'll talk about that in a moment when we look at the volume chart and whatnot. So here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the rolling contract on the daily time frame, and once again, the 2060 to 50 level, we gapped above that, but we did play with it Sunday before we got rolling here. It's still in the same range we've been in, and not much going on. Obviously, some of this was because of the situation in Greece and the fact that Europe decided to essentially bail them out with some pretty tight penalties and restrictions and oversight and whatnot. But when you see what we did intraday, you'll realize it wasn't that exciting. So here's the S&P cash up. It was up 23 points for the session. Again, almost midpoint since February. Here's the NDX, also gapped up and pushed up 74 points for the day and puts it mid-range for the last 3 months. The stocks, we talked about that over the weekend, look to be in trouble, up 5. That's not much on the gap as well. Biotech's up 70. Again, that was a gap. Look out, though, here on the NDX and the biotechs, because if we gap down tomorrow, you've got 2 floating islands, and those are not good things. Google was up 15.5 points, finally breaking out of the last 2 months' range, and kind of a nice cup formation. That 585 area is going to be key. Break out of that, and it should run a bit. Apple also up 2.38 points. The VIX obviously down 293, gap down in the process. Crude oil closed at 51.52. It's a new low close since back in April on crude oil. Here's a look at gold, basically flat. The trend closed the session at 0.63, and that brings the 10-day moving average back down to 1.39, which is unexciting, of course. And here's volume closed at 1.5 after Friday's 1.4. That brings the 10-day moving average of volume down quite a bit. So look at the 5-minute time frame of the ES front month contract. Again, you can see here what I'm talking about. The gap up, and then we were essentially in a 5-point range all day until the last maybe 45 minutes or hour or so, and we kind of drifted up out of that. But there's no big candles. There's not great strong movement at any point. You got to take what you can get early and go with it. We had a nice trade, for example, in eBay. Worked out on a daily chart breakout. That gave us a gain. Here's a look at the eBay. Also had Netflix after the opening 5-minute candle went long. That worked well. But most of those moves happen in the first hour or so. What do we have coming out here for the rest? Well, at least tomorrow. On Tuesday, we have retail sales, import-export prices, business inventories. Nothing major. We got some bigger stuff later in the week, plus options expiration to look forward to. See if we get that options unraveling move on Wednesday or Thursday. That's it. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. We will be in the lab calling what we can for you, hoping to help you make some money. Take a trial of our services if you have not already. If you do find these videos useful, please like us on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading Tuesday.